This is brutal as the Devils had a divisional game tonight, an important one you could say, that ended with Sheldon Keefe giving some interesting takes at the press conference. Yeah, no, not in a good way, as New Jersey continues to fight for points. Welcome in to Devils Digest. Glad that you guys are here today. So Columbus was in town tonight, both teams trying to get back into a playoff spot, and Columbus scored 3 times, New Jersey didn't score. 6th time this year that the Devils did not score a goal. And I know you could go ahead and say there's a lot of things you could point to, maybe want to point to what happened. I mean, 10 minutes left to go in the third period. That's when Columbus scored. It was a 0-0 game. You had a 0-0 game, divisional team in town. You need some things to go right. You need to put on a good performance, and you lose 3-0. 0-0, 10 minutes left to go. Columbus scores 3 times. And I know the final goal, Dougie Hamilton took a penalty. They rewarded Matthew Olivier for a goal. It was an empty net. I mean, what are you going to do about it? It was 2-0. Devils didn't score. I don't see much into that. So what exactly did happen tonight? Well, Sheldon Keefe has an answer to that. We're not mentally tough enough, clearly. These are critical moments in our season. Now, I watched the press conference tonight. And what I got from it is, it was weird. Going and saying, not mentally tough enough. He used the word wilt a lot. I didn't even know what that word meant. I had to go look it up after the game. But the press conference, what I got from it, outside of it being weird, it didn't really feel like he knew what to say. I mean, you saw this team, and you've seen what's gone on this year. I mean, things just haven't gone well. You had an 8-1-0 start. You were 13-4-1. You're battling for what it felt like the Eastern Conference. And now you sit here, not even at the trade deadline, not even at the Olympic break. And this team's thinking about, it would have maybe been best to sell. Would the Devils be better off this year at the trade deadline going, you know what? It's just not going to happen this year. Do we need to start moving off of players? Now, I have a very strong opinion on that. I'll wait till later in the week to give my opinion. But with what New Jersey's doing, that's the conversation now. And it felt like Sheldon Keefe is starting to hear the outside noise. The way that press conference went, kind of going, maybe we're not mentally tough tonight. We're wilting. We can't be wilting. Kind of saying, Nemec maybe out of position on that second goal. Just his body language, just how he was talking. I mean, he even said this is why I'm talking to you guys like this. I mean, he was frustrated. It was clear. I think a reporter even asked him, you seem a little bit frustrated tonight, and he had a question on that. He's frustrated. I mean, it was very clear. I mean, he said, he talked about, I think the system works, and saying, there are guys who've known me for 20 years. They know how I see hockey. Well, you look at where the Devils sit in terms of goals for. They're third to last in the NHL. So this system right now, whether it's working or not, whether, players need to create plays, I know he said that a lot during the press conference, they're third to last in the NHL in terms of goals scored. And you look at where they are in terms of salary, well, they've spent all the way up to the cap. They've also spent as much as they can. They have players on their team who've scored 40 goals in their career. Multiple players. Point per game players. Power play doesn't work. Goal scoring, they're third to last in the NHL. So I know Sheldon Keefe can be, annoyed and frustrated with his system or saying, the system works. Players got to make plays. Well, clearly the system just doesn't score enough. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. The Devils are a bad scoring team. They don't score enough. They don't get enough goals. Jacob Markstrom had a good game tonight, and they gave him 0 goals. Jacob Markstrom could have had the best game. Could have done whatever, the Devils needed him to do. They didn't score. It wouldn't have mattered. And you go into this game and you think about, where the Devils sit right now and how this season has gone. I mean, you're just looking around and, looking at points. I mean, their only real way to get into the playoffs right now is the top 3 spot in the division. You got to hunt down the Islanders. You got to hunt down Pittsburgh. You got to hunt down Columbus, Washington, Philadelphia. I mean, there's 6 teams in front of them. They score the least amount of goals in the Eastern Conference. So you're looking at where the Devils sit right now and going into the Olympic break. Trying to get back into it, trying to get into a playoff spot. I mean, clearly, they need external help. Clearly, if you want to compete this year, they need external help. They need to go and get another player. From what you saw tonight, Sheldon Keefe, talking in the press conference, saying this team just doesn't seem mentally tough enough right now. I mean, those are really interesting things to say, kind of things to put back into the locker room. I mean, because Sheldon Keefe's frustrated. The fan base is frustrated. The players got to be frustrated. So you put those words back in the locker room, and all of a sudden, we're not mentally tough enough. I don't know how it's going to go over, but I just found that interesting. We got to a point in the season where, it really felt like Sheldon Keefe, he just didn't know what to say. He didn't, that's what that press conference felt like. What am I supposed to say? My system works. Players, they've known me for 20 years. I know I watch hockey. And I'm not saying, Sheldon Keefe isn't somebody who isn't smart in hockey. Do I agree with the system? Do I agree with how this team has worked? No, I don't. In that regard, no. But is Sheldon Keefe, smart in hockey? I mean, yeah. He wouldn't be in the position he's in if he wasn't. But clearly it doesn't work with this team. I mean, that's the point that I'm trying to get across. This team just doesn't score. The power play is not very good. They don't score enough. They're bottom 3 in the whole entire league in goals for. I mean, when you look at all of those things, I mean, something's got to change. And I think you do have to, if you want to keep competing this year, you do have to go with an external option. Because clearly, top 6 doesn't work enough. They don't score enough. Power play's a problem. Penalties kill has gotten worse. I mean, nothing feels necessarily like it's gotten better. And you look at this game tonight. I mean, you had Columbus. Columbus is a team that you're chasing now in your division. They've won 6 straight. They find ways to win. Columbus has got in here, and they've put themselves right back into the race. Devils have had way more time to get back into the race. Columbus is right back there. They've won 6 straight. And New Jersey, you go and you look at the last 10, you're seeing a 500 record, below 500 basically every single time you look over there. They don't put together winning streaks. They don't score enough. They didn't score at all tonight. I mean, there's a lot of issues here in New Jersey. There's a lot of issues. And you look at how this season's going, and you look at how the team is right now, and you see where they are in the standings. I mean, you're going to have a good break afterwards. Because right now, 7th to last in the standings. There were a lot of scouts in the building tonight, though. Avalanche sent 2. Canucks. Vegas had 2. Dallas had 3. Tampa Bay was in the building as well. I mean, there were a lot of teams looking at the Devils tonight, watching this Devils game. I mean, are they looking to make a trade? Predators, I think, are a team that they still probably want to talk to. I mean, Steven Stamkos, Ryan O'Reilly, St. Louis, they probably want to talk to. But a ton of teams in the building tonight looking at what maybe, Tom Fitzgerald, I mean, he better have been talking to them. Whether they make a trade or not, he better have been talking, seeing what's going on, whatever he's going to decide to do at the trade deadline. Whatever he decides to do at the trade deadline, he better have been talking, seeing what's open around the league. And, there were a lot of scouts in the building tonight for the Devils and Columbus game. But Devils, they drop it tonight by 3-0. 6th time this year that this team has been shut out. Look, it just can't happen. Team doesn't score enough, and you don't get enough. You don't get enough offense. Devils dropped the game tonight. Thanks for tuning in tonight. If you guys have any, comments about the game tonight, I mean, I know it was a frustrating game.